Welcome back, video creeps. The wait is over. Fucking The Babysitter Killer Queen is finally out on Netflix. And I, for one, couldn't be more excited. I think we've waited long enough, so let's go over this thing. Deep. Digging in, this movie wastes no time at all, telling us the tale of the Babysitter 1. And just seeing flashbacks of how small Cole was in the first one compared to now is fucking staggering. Fucking man Cole over here has been drinking fight milk or something.
Fight milk! The first alcoholic, dairy-based protein drink for bodyguards!
My bodyguard! I drink it every morning so I can fight like a crowd.
This motherfucker looks like he's about to get married and shit. Now he's telling all of this to his psychotherapist, who is the returning actor Carl McDowell from the first movie. And dude, everything that you love about that character in the first movie is pushed even further in his return. He's equally as funny and vulgar. Just talking about high school students with fucking chlamydia and herpes and shit. It's a fucking blast. And after hearing about all of this shit that is going on in Cole's mind, his number one advice is, boy, you need to get laid. Go out there, get some pussy. You gotta get over this fucking crush on B. We get that signature shot of Cole holding his arm, getting hit in the head with a fucking dodgeball and shit. Are the kids still playing dodgeball? I guess I understand that we want to make these kids more agile and shit, but is dodgeball not just an excuse to fucking hit people? Now Melanie and Cole end up catching up, and it's nice to see these two characters together again, especially because they were both so chibi in the first one, and in this one, they look way more mature. Cole starts to freak out about everything that he's gone through once more. And especially he's gonna unload all of this stuff on her. She's the only one who believes him, let alone remembers it. And she tells him, hey man, fucking get out of your head. We also rub tongues, don't you remember that? Why don't you ever think about that? And then this is when Cole's group of friends show up. One of which is this guy named Jimmy who has like toxic positivity. Everything that he says on paper would be amazing, but everything that he projects is like a bully vibe. He's got a wild fucking douchebag attitude the whole time, but he's saying shit like, bro, believe in yourself. He's like fucking PC Principal from South Park. Yeah, I don't know, call me clairvoyant, but I see this guy being a fucking issue. And then he's like throwing his arm around Melanie the whole time, so I guess Melanie and Cole aren't together when we start this movie. And that's probably a good thing, because back in class, a brand new student comes in, just looking all kinds of fucking jailbait, and Cole fucks with it. Now the parents make a return in this movie, and I'm so grateful for that. We didn't see a whole lot of them in the first movie, but they really were standout characters. And I was worried about their inclusion considering we didn't even see them in the trailer. So I was really pumped up to see their inclusion. And honestly, they play a much bigger role in this movie. And they don't sacrifice anything. They're every bit as quirky and funny as they were in the previous film. And there's a fantastic scene where Melanie and Cole are FaceTiming and they're having this weird kind of moment with a bottle of lotion that's by Cole's bed for jerking off. When Cole's dad comes in and just makes it 10 times worse. Fucking gold. But the real importance of this scene is that we find out that Cole is on a bunch of medication. Again, because nobody believes him, including his parents, who are arguably the most concerned about him. So much so that while Colt is looking for his lit homework, he finds a pamphlet to a psychiatric hospital and they have an appointment for 1 o'clock. Cole's parents want to send him away for his own benefit. So he tells that to Melanie and she goes, yeah, fuck that. And alternatively convinces Cole to go away for the weekend at a lake house, where her and a bunch of her friends are gonna get fucking crunk. Cole says that this isn't really a good idea, I probably shouldn't do that, that's not really my speed, when a bottle of his anxiety medication falls out of his locker. And Melanie just gives him all the insurance in the world, scanning around the hallway at all of the different kids, and we see the different medication that each one is on. It's so glorious and just on par with the humor and the style of this movie. But in this scene, while we're scanning around, we see Jenna Ortega's character, whose drug is undefined, when all of a sudden, as she approaches her locker, she finds something weird in there. It's a stuffed rabbit with a fortune cookie fortune stuck in its eye, and it reads, "It ends tonight." Now Cole is able to avoid his parents and sneak away with Melanie and their group of friends off to the lake house. And we deviate for a second to see Cole's parents reach out to Melanie's dad, who, oh my god, has gone through quite the transformation in this movie. I love the whole midlife crisis thing that they were doing with his character in the first movie, but this like ultra chillax fucking version of this guy is hysterical. Such a scene stealer. And honestly, he's like a little too chill. Like, he doesn't even give a fuck about his daughter. He says shit like she's fucking DTF and shit. Fucking very funny. By the way, that's Ditches Thursdays and Friday nights. Get your head out of the gutter, video creep. Now, once they're there, Cole actually starts to get cold feet, but Melanie reels him right back in, and he takes his medication and he throws it out into the water.
Get the fuck out of here!
Which gets me in like a weird headspace, because then I start to worry that this whole movie will just be a weird turn of events where everything is just happening in his brain. Because I would hate that shit for this movie and this franchise. We then see Cole and his group of friends playing a rousing round of 2 Minutes in Heaven, a sad variant on 7 Minutes in Heaven, and Melanie and Cole get partnered up. Sucky sucky now, indeed. But before we get into that, how the fuck did a bunch of 16-year-olds ante up the cash to pay for a fucking lake house? Who paid for this shit? Now, Melanie and Cole have some kiss action in the closet. And honestly, in this scene, the movie does an excellent job of harkening back to that feeling of being in close quarters with someone that you really care about, that you want to kiss. You want your bodies to get closer. And you can feel that electricity when they're just close enough, but you just want them a little bit closer. Does a fucking phenomenal job at portraying that on screen. I felt nervous for Cole in his moments of nervousness. I felt that shit. Now we get outside of the closet where the group of friends starts to hone in on Cole, asking him what the fuck is with all of that blood sacrifice cult shit. And this is when Melanie comes to Cole's aid in a very sweet moment, saying that he doesn't have to talk about it if he doesn't want to. But in her talking about the things that he doesn't have to talk about, she brings up the demonic book from the first movie. And Cole remembers that he never told her about the demonic book. And when he questions her about it, in the biggest shock and twist turn of 2020, Melanie takes out a fucking hook and slits one of their friends' throats and looks at Cole and says, "That's because I signed it." Yo, what the fuck? Who saw that coming? I sure shit didn't. Blown away. I'm fucking blown away at this point. And as if matters couldn't get worse, it turns out this entire group of friends are part of this cult. And to take it a step further, the original cult from part 1 also come back. And they need to get Cole's blood pronto, or else they'll all be sent back to limbo. And they won't be able to try again for another 2 years. Keep that in mind. But Cole, understanding the very shitty situation that he's in, takes the hook and throws it at Bella Thorne's face, giving him just enough time to run away, jumping on the back of Jenna Ortega's speedboat all the way to safety, where Cole tells Jenna Ortega what the fuck is going on. And she believes him right away, which is interesting because not many people do in this universe. That said, she's not trying to partner up with this motherfucker. She's got some shit of her own to do. She dips out only to learn that stranger danger is a problem firsthand. Fucking creepy dude tries to like fucking do the R word to her. I say a lot of words on this channel, but that one's a real one. But Cole is able to rescue her, and the two of them commit Grand Theft Auto, stealing a car to get away. However, this is when Sonia shows up, and we get our first flashback to the cult's past. And apparently Sonia was trying to make her way through mortuary school. And this is the first time in the movie that we see the queen bee herself, Samara Weaving, recruiting Sonya to sign the book. I told you motherfuckers that she was gonna be in this movie. Now Colt, being the driver of the year that he has always been, runs over Sonya like a multitude of times, until eventually she gets on the hood of this thing, and he's able to pin her between a rock and the car. And atop of the car is a surfboard, sliding forward and decapitating her. They hear the rest of the cult in the distance, and quickly they go underneath the car, and they're able to overhear the plan of the new and old cult, saying that they're gonna split up in order to find Cole once and for all. Now Jenna gets kind of soft and gushy on Cole, thanking him for actually saving her from having a very, very bad thing happen to her, when Cole apologizes to her for dragging her into his bad situation. And she confesses to Cole that this actually isn't her first time seeing a dead body. So what the fuck is going on with this chick? Bella Thorne shows up, and we get her flashback scene, and we learn that she was trying to become an anchor woman. However, she sucked dick at it. And once more, we get another shot of Samara Weaving coming in and recruiting her. Now Bella Thorne whips out a gun and points it right at Jenna and Cole. And I don't know what kind of fucking hand cannon this bitch is using, but she like shoots a deer and it explodes to the point that there's just legs standing up. Very fucking funny. But unfortunately, trying to shoot at Cole, she shoots a rock and the bullet ricochets and shoots her right in the titty. Like I said, was funny in the trailer, was funny in the movie. Now chasing after Cole and Jenna, she actually gets trapped between two rocks. And Cole and Jenna take this opportunity to grab her by the legs and pull her down so that way her head is ripped off of her body. And I'm not gonna lie, like we've gotten to the point where some things just look too fucking real. Her head rip off, oh my god, it is a very fucking realistic rip. Like I was low-key traumatized watching that shit. I loved it, but like, wow. Bella Thorne is dead, but they can't celebrate because as soon as she's dead, like a fucking tag team, Max jumps in and he's wielding a fucking axe. Now Jenna and Cole are able to somewhat get away from Max, getting into a boat and driving away. However, Max is hot on their trail, and seeing another thing from the trailer with the silly string in the face and then setting the face on fire, that happens. But what we don't see is him get trapped underneath the boat, cutting up his body and face the propeller. Oh my god, it's fucking great. Something else that I really dig about this movie is every time someone dies, like someone gets a bucket of blood in the face. Very fun aesthetic. Now with the cult realizing that the odds are against them, considering most of them are dead, the new cult decides that they're gonna dip out. But then Melanie uses like her fucking brain powers and explodes their fucking whole bodies. Not something that we learned about in the first movie, that no one else has these powers, but my mind was equally blown. Like what the fuck is going on with Melanie? Why is she so OP in this film? Now Jenna and Cole finally make it to the cabin, where we are introduced to Jenna's rabbit hole. And in the cabin, like right before they go down into that basement, there's a super fucking funny scene where Cole has like a fucking shy stream and then she scares him and he like turns around and he pisses on her face real quick. Fucking so, I'm like loving this movie. It's so fucking funny. But I will say she handles it like a champ. Fellas, a girl like that you don't let go of. Now down in that rabbit hole, Cole gets inside of Jenna's rabbit hole and he totally loses his fucking virginity. And like me sitting there watching the movie, I'm like clapping and shit. I'm proud of my boy. And my girl, honestly. I actually really dig Jenna Ortega's character in this movie. I mean, we do find out that she's a fucking murderer and shit. She like killed her parents by mistake. But still, pretty dope chick. Cole's dad shows up with Melanie's dad and John in tow, and they all arrive at the cabin together. You know, just fucking cock-blocking round twos for Cole. When Jenna remembers that down there is the safe where all of the weapons are, but they don't have the code. This is when she remembers that little fortune. And when she flipped it over, there's lucky numbers, and on those lucky numbers just so happens to be the code that opens up the safe. They head upstairs and Cole shoots a crossbow right at John, but totally misses. So John takes a fucking sword and by mistake he like cuts a fucking antler chandelier that comes flying down and stabbing him all over his body. Now Jenna and Cole are able to get away from this situation, but Cole's heart fucking brings him right back. He can't just leave his dad there. But unfortunately, Dad doesn't have his back stabbing him with something that knocks him out. While Melanie catches up to Jenna Ortega and they have a literal Mortal Kombat fight. I don't know how this movie is able to pull it off. It's such an offbeat thing. It's such a big swing, but it totally fucking plays. And that's something that you gotta give this movie credit for. Every choice that they make tracks for the film. Now, unfortunately, Melanie is able to get the upper hand on Jenna, putting a knife to her throat and fucking capturing her and tying her up to some spooky shit. Cole comes back from consciousness and he's in his dad's car. And while Dad is outside trying to pump gas, Cole commits Grand Theft Auto twice. Such a badass. Just rushing off to save the new love of his life. Melanie who? Shit, baby, that's my past. He gets there and Cole has the confidence of 1,000 sacrifices. And he basically just eggs Melanie on to fucking take his blood. Take that shit, it's right here. But Melanie says, no, not just yet, baby. As we pan over into the water and see the Killer Queen herself arise from the water. And then immediately in another twist, Jenna Ortega knows exactly who B is. Because B used to be her babysitter. I need a fucking respirator, cause I'm dead right now. I'm fucking Stan Lee, I'm Tupac. Oh my God, what a beautiful twist. And to make it even better, all of the characters that died come back from the cult anyway. We lose Melanie's dad at some point, it's kind of a bummer. And they begin to drink the blood of the innocent. However, Cole is not innocent anymore. And the entire cult that drank starts to cough up blood. And I'm fucking smiling from ear to ear as the cult starts to realize that cult kind of got some. So his blood is useless now. And then Killer Queen plays in the background as the cult are choking up blood. And oh my God, it's such a good feeling. This scene is such a perfect melting pot of just climactic, cinematic orgasm fuel. They all begin to deteriorate into flesh and begin seeping into the ground, just going right back to hell. At some point, John even gives himself up to Jesus. And man, if there's a fucking Babysitter 3, please. I really hope we see the return of John and he's just a gorgeous black angel this time. Now, as if this wasn't enough, they tie it all together. And we learn that B gave her soul to the devil to actually save Jenna's life as a child. And she has been her guardian angel the entire time. She left the bear, she left the fortune, and she rigged up the whole night in order to save Cole and Jenna. And in a heartbreaking but necessary plot device, B picks up the chalice of blood and starts to drink it herself. And in the most dramatic fashion, we see her burst into flames and smoke as she herself is sent to hell. But what's best about this scene is that Cole's father actually sees this happen, convincing him that Cole hasn't been crazy this whole time. And much like how the movie begins with Cole talking to his therapist, the movie ends with him talking to his therapist, and he's got a brand new swag about himself. And the movie fucking ends. But don't think that we didn't get an after credits sequence, letting us know that there's more Babysitter coming our way. It's a very quick shot, but we see a glimpse of the book just blowing pages in the wind, and we cut to black. Guys, the Babysitter Killer Queen is virtual drugs. And it's that potent shit, baby. The whole movie feels like an incredible high that somehow has just been injected with gore and humor. This movie is so fucking funny. It does the horror comedy genre every bit of service that it deserves. Everything about this movie excelled it to its highest point. There are zero lulls in this movie. No one point in the film where I'm like, I wish they did something different. Cole's development as a character is triumphant. And I loved his progression from the last movie to this one. And the twists and turns provided to us by the character Melanie, who honestly is played so innocuous in the first film, packed such a punch. I in no way, shape, or form expected that out of that character. But man, she fucking blew it out of the water. She was a real fucking contender as a baddie in this film. And that's the thing, they seem to do that with every returning character in this movie. Everyone's just a little bit better. All the way down to the secondary characters. Like even the father fucking smoking weed with Melanie's dad the whole movie long is fucking great. B's amazing redemption at the end of this movie. And it's even sad that we won't see a return of Melanie's dad, because I would have loved to continue to see that guy and where he goes. The comedic and meteoric rise of that character. That said, seeing him get both of his arms cut off and then seeing him get stabbed right in the stomach, pretty fucking funny stuff. Even upon first seeing that character, I didn't even recognize him. He had the longer hair and the beard. I was like, what the fuck? This is great. The entire returning cast just made this feel like a welcoming home party. And even the newer characters did a fucking awesome job. I was low-key worried about Jenna Ortega's character not being someone that I enjoyed in this film. But by the end of it, now I can't wait to see her return in Babysitter 3. I want to see how her and Cole's relationship develops. The after credits scene was another really big win for me, and I don't think I was the only one that was waiting for it. Especially in the first one, how we got that great after credits letting us know, yo, the story's not over. Seeing an actual book for this one letting us know that the story is not over. Oh, fucking yes, thank you. This movie has all the great cues of the first one with the freeze frame text on screen and the hyper Game Boy video game vibe that this film is able to provide. I could not be happier with this movie. And honestly, I'm fucking thirsty for another one already. So the Babysitter Killer Queen, did you dig it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit the fucking subscribe button. What are you doing? Help me out, buddy. Go over to the notification bell so that way you know when my next video is up. I post pretty regularly. So let's build something together. Go into the description of this video and add me across my social media. Check out Coffin Grounds on Facebook if you're looking for a cool community of other people who dig horror. And if you really want to be dope and support my channel, consider becoming a Patreon. And you can make your name into the Patreon song amongst a bunch of other really awesome perks. That's gonna be it for this review. Peace, video creeps.
Let me tell you just how thankful I am. I got a Patreon posse and they feel more like my fam. It goes Rebecca, Reviews, and Splatter Vision's the man. Desmond Flex, Butchers, Ryan House, Larry Sherman, Kyoko, Corey Stewart, Michael Andrews. Thank you for the support. You got me feeling thankful. Hey yo, I'm gonna say what's up.